Welcome back to the gun dungeon, guys. As you guessed, if you watch my reloading and ramblings, you know I'm loading up some 357 SIG, and that's what I'm still sitting here doing. So nothing surprising, nothing new on the press this week. Maybe next week. I do have some other stuff I have to get to loading here very soon. But if you watched last week, I did a if you could only have one gun and chose the 12 gauge pump shotgun. Told why in that video. Today we're going to be talking about if I could only have 3 calibers, or I say calibers, 3 cartridges all together, what would I choose and why? Well, I think last week's video itself is going to explain one of them, and of course I'm going to choose a 12 gauge. So we'll put the context here of this video. You can have 3 cartridges of your choosing, but you can have as many guns as you want chambered in those. So that'll be the context. So I want to hear yours down below, what 3 cartridges you would choose, and maybe what guns you would choose in them. But for me, 12 gauge for sure. Too versatile not to have a 12 gauge. And I'm probably going to make some people mad here because 22 long rifle is not going to be one of my 3. And I'm sure that'll probably be in a lot of people's top 3, but it's not going to be in mine. So 12 gauge for one, it's too versatile. You can hunt with it. You can hunt anything you really want to in North America with it, out to 150 yards if you're decent with a slug. You can hunt small game, you can hunt big game, you can use it for self-defense, home defense, you can use it for sporting clays, whatever. It's hard to beat 12 gauge for versatility. Now you may want a 20 gauge or something like that, but you get my point. A good, capable shotgun cartridge. That's number 1, right off the bat. Not even gonna question it. Guess I better put that back on. And here's where I start getting a little wishy-washy on my other 2 choices, because obviously I'm gonna choose a handgun round, and then I'm gonna choose a rifle round. So that'll round me out to a shotgun, rifle, handgun. And I want to say 10 millimeter. Everybody knows I want to say 10 millimeter. The only limiting factor for choosing 10 millimeter over something else is the fact that the smallest gun I can get it in is a Glock 29. So am I comfortable saying that I'm going to concealed carry Glock 29 all the time, indefinitely, because that is the smallest I can get, the lightest I can get, and it's a chunky little boy. I mean, if you've not held a 29 or a Glock 30, they're chunky, they're real thick. You got a little weight to them, a little heft to them. And granted, I carry one a lot, but you know, summer months, not really carrying it very much in the summertime. I'm not carrying it very much whenever I'm wearing just a t-shirt. Definitely not in ball shorts. I don't think I could get a drawstring tight enough to hold up a Glock 29 in ball shorts. So that's kind of the limiting factor for 10 millimeter for me. Now, granted, it is very versatile. I can do a lot of things with 10 millimeter, and it's a very capable round, but do I really need it for woods defense if I've got a 12 gauge already? Do I really need it for hunting if I've got a 12 gauge and I'm going to have a rifle too? Probably not. So, and I don't really want to go with 9 millimeter either, even though I'm going to have more options when it comes to firearms. I'm going to have a whole lot more options with it over anything else, especially these days. But I'm 9 millimetered out. It's not a round. It's a very, very capable round, but it's not a round that excites me. That I enjoy to. I mean, I enjoy shooting everything. Don't get me wrong, but it's not something I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot the 9 millimeter today. No, it is what it is. But there are a lot of options, and some of my favorite guns are chambered 9 millimeter, like my CZ75. So that would be a huge draw for me to choose 9 millimeter. Just the CZ75 in itself is. And the P365 XL, y'all know I love that gun for a carry gun. So It's just, I'm gonna choose 40. I'm gonna go with a 40 cal. And hear me out, hear me out. I'm gonna choose 40 cal because I can get a full size gun of my choosing, M&P, Glock, whatever, with good capacity. I can also go down to a Smith & Wesson Shield, which I currently have. I have a 40 cal Smith & Wesson Shield that I carry quite often. Don't feel undergunned carrying that gun at all. And I can carry it deep concealment. I don't have an option, or I don't have a pocket holster for it. I've never tried to pocket carry it, but I feel like I could probably maybe pocket carry it in ball shorts. Maybe. It'd be a stretch. I'd have to wear my bigger ball shorts. It'd be a stretch. But I'd have a whole lot better option doing that than I would a Glock 29 for sure. But it gives me a little bit extra oomph over 9mm, a little bit funner to shoot, a little bit more recoil. Plus, I can load 40 cal pretty freaking hot when I'm reloading. I can take some long shot, some 155 grain Spear gold dots, and we can get over 600 foot-pounds of energy pretty quickly with 40 cal. And I can download it and make some powder puff loads too. So 40 is pretty versatile as well. What 40 can do on the top end, you start outstepping 9mm. And I know my 9mm fanboys are going to be at her 9mm plus P plus blah, 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 pluses P plus P's and pluses and P's everywhere. I get it. But when you get on the top end, 40 cal is just going to have more oomph. There's more case capacity. It shoots a heavier bullet. It's going to have more oomph. It's hard to argue that. But like I said, it's pretty versatile as well. So I'm going to go 40. And I know it's not a popular option these days, but I like it. As you can see, I'm loading some neck down 40s right now. But anyways, I'm going to go 40 on the handgun round. That may surprise some people, but that's what I'm going to do. So now we got 12 gauge and 40. So now I have to choose a rifle round. And this one's, I'm back and forth on this one too. Between 3. Not 5.56. I know 5.56 is a great round. I know it can do a lot of things, but it also is very, very limited. And if I want some range to do any kind of hunting or anything with deer hunting, if I choose 5.56, I've got to use my 12 gauge to deer hunt with, because it can be done. You can hunt deer with a 223 5.56, but it's not the best. It's not, I don't recommend it unless you're using like a 60 grain partition and you're keeping it within 100 yards. But if you're within 100 yards, you might as well use a 12 gauge. So I'm going to go something with a little bit more oomph. So that's going to leave me between 7.62 by 3.9, 6.5 Grendel, and 308. Now the first two are mini actions, which fit in AR-15 size platforms. 308 is going to be an AR-10 short action. So it's going to have a little bit more oomph. Well, it's going to have quite a bit more oomph, quite a bit more range. But the firearms, again, you're going to be more limited on your semi-automatic platforms. You're going to have to go to a heavier gun, get into an AR-10. But you know what? The Ruger SFAR really kind of made that a non-point. So, you know what? Now that I brought that point up, I'm just going to say I'm going 308. Just because of the Ruger SFAR allowing you to have such a small little battle rifle, so to say. Now I get it. You're not going to have near the fast follow-up shots as you would with a smaller cartridge and a defensive type rifle. But like I said, we're limited to 3 rounds here, so you got to pick a rifle round that's kind of a do-it-all. So I'm gonna go 308, and I'm not even gonna look back on it. 308 all the way. So I think that's also, strangely enough, going to be one of the easier ones to reload. Granted, it's going to be large rifle primer, but the bullets are pretty easy to get, pretty available, wide selection. Brass, cheap, plentiful. Yep, 308. So there we go. 12 gauge, 40 cal, 308. There's my 3. Let me know below what your 3 picks are and why. Can't wait to hear this one. This ought to start some 9mm guys are going to be hating me today. I know. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Until next time, guys, stay tuned.